again. Welcome to another edition of MLC Talk. This is the platform we discuss all things Lutheran. Today's Father's Day. We want to wish every father figure out there. Want to wish you happy Father's Day. Dr. Toto, happy Father's Day to you. Our dear brother Elijah Zina, happy Father's Day. Uh, Batam Lewelly, happy Father's Day. Brother Jerry Tablo, Big Joe, Josiah Jokai, happy Father's Day. And Reverend uh, Zesta Yakwazu, happy Father's. Just happy Father's Day to everyone, including our guests who will be joining us very shortly. Brother Leo Nupolo Johnson, want to wish you happy Father's Day. Just everyone, happy Father's Day. That I told you high space birth today, and you are in charge. In fact,
Yeah, well, again, let me join you also to welcome everybody to the show. Today will be like a very exciting show. We'll be having our guest on Leo Johnson, a son from the Lutheran Church, and we'll be discussing some important we'll be looking at his journey to see where he is today, in terms of academic accomplishment and all like he has achieved. And let me also join you also to wish you happy Father's Day to you also too, and the rest of the team, and also to all our members in Liberia, the diaspora. Want to wish you happy Father's Day, more especially the father of the church, the bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, the Reverend Dr. Victor Palmer. Want to wish you happy Father's Day as well, also too, as you take over the leader or you lead the church. So, what is happening at your end is in Atlanta? You want to share with us?
so, Atlanta is good. First of all, we want to wish our sister Couple Soleil. We shouldn't forget. Um, want to wish Couple Soleil speedy recovery. She is not doing so well, so she won't be joining us today. Want to wish her a speedy recovery. But Atlanta is good. It's sunny today. And on today's Father's Day, a few months ago, a few weeks ago, I would say I was approached by our pastor in person of the Reverend Jimmy Weave, and you know, our congregation is such a wonderful church, wonderful congregation, I would say, because we are part of the ELCA church. So she contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in serving leadership position. I just said okay, but which position I don't know. So I just said okay. So anyway, today after service we had a congregational meeting, and some folks were elected to the council. So their procedure, how to do is that um, about 7 or 8 individuals will be appointed to the council. Then after that, the council will meet and have a separate election on your various position. So um, I was elected to the council today. I want to thank God for that, for the opportunity. And not only elected to the council, I contested one of the positions and I received an overwhelming, almost I would say, a white ballot. But I had an opponent, so I won't say a white ballot. So, um,
Read
but
that a little, repeat that a little bit for me.
we had elections in the council room, and I was elected as the vice council chairperson for 2 years term for our congregation. That's the Lutheran Church of the Good Shepherd.
That's good.
Yeah,
That's a very progress report.
yeah.
Congratulations, man, as you on your election as the vice chairperson for the council.
Yeah.
We pray that you will lead, according and be like the people servant. So congratulations on that.
Right.
Say to the leaders are cool. One person, try to lead. These are some of the things that you see. This is my book. It's our
Yeah,
Amazon.
court to government. No,
Called
honestly,
Call to
guess what?
Government. Yeah.
That before you go too far, right? I follow you on Amazon. If you don't know that, I follow you on Amazon, and once the book was launched, I received that notification. I'm getting an electronic copy, so I can read through.
The book,
You know,
the books, trending so much on Amazon. People,
Yeah,
people,
it is trending on Amazon
yeah,
actually. Yeah,
people that are bonded, they are so inspired by the level of research that put in the book here, called
yeah,
the governor, the confidence
yeah,
of the African leadership. They
yeah,
talk about how to be a good leader,
yeah,
for the government, for the private sector, from non-governmental sector, NGO, everything is in the book here called the governor. We have to govern with integrity. They want to have a successful organization. So I encourage everybody, all our viewer out there, try to get a copy. So Amazon, is that expensive? Just about 50.
it's very inexpensive. That the total
So,
the book on Amazon is about
yeah,
$14 on Amazon, and if
yeah.
you are getting on a digital copy, I
Just
think
about
it's cheaper
five.
than that.
Yes, yeah, it's $4.
Yeah,
Digital copy, so it's very cheap. You can download it, read it. It has a good book. And what did the good thing I like about the book here? I brought in my own personal experience
yeah,
from corporate America, where I work. I serve in leadership, the banking, for the financial institution. I work with Bank of America. I work with Citizen Bank. I work with PNC Bank, all in leadership position. And I started working, and also I work in the human service organization also too. Work with people with IDD, intellectual disability. And all the experience I got from that as a leader, I translate in the book here. My own personal experience. So it's very rich. And I encourage people. I have two other in review also too again. It will become more pretty soon until then. So when I sit, this is my studio. When I sit, when I sit here, when I
uh-huh.
sit here with it, it's about research. All the go about research. We using my computer to the maximum capacity.
The fullest. Yeah,
Yeah. I just go research, putting ideas together, putting searching others out. If a person is out, I want to research that person, see what that person contributes to society, what I can gain from them. Put it into my own knowledge also too. So that's what I do. So and that's a good idea. So as you can be leadership, self integrity, yeah,
yeah.
ethics,
That to the
what?
right, right. I want to uh, join you to amplify the message on your materials, the books that you've written, and and I think this is your third book, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, this is your third book so far. So, and all of the previous ones are very very rich, and I'm pretty sure that this book, is it's not going to fall short of the rich quality of the previous books,
yeah,
and
definitely.
the research work that you put in. So I want to encourage everyone too. Like I say, I am getting the digital copy, and we can look forward to the physical copy somewhere in Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh
I
yeah,
know
this Baltimore.
we'll be talking about that. Few minutes from now, but we're gonna be talking about Baltimore, Maryland.
This is the other two copies foundation for success.
Yeah, Foundation for
You
Success.
want,
Yeah,
you want to run a successful organization.
right.
Everything in here, you talk about your core value, your mission statement, everything is in the book here. They're the one, these are the one to from robot to resilient, have a home ownership.
Right.
You want to be a successful home owner. You want to how to build an organization to build a successful home ownership. This is my dissertation. So yeah. So as I said, when I sit in my studio, it's all about research.
Yeah.
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 And also yesterday we celebrated my wife birthday. Yeah, we celebrated our birthday yesterday. It was good. Surprisingly again when I wake up from bed this morning, somebody sneak in my room. I even know sir. And I wake up, my children sneak in my room. They put something there when I went alone. It was a go-kart, happy Father Day, rating on it, and then they have a gift. They bought a gift for me. That's perfume, expensive perfume that I've been wanting to have before. Like it probably that they really they know that say daddy really let it perfume you, but they just wear.
That's right.
Yeah. So the way they call me that perfume, my children they call me they will call me Papa G. Yeah.
Yeah,
I just happy
yeah,
for this. They gave me, to wish me happy Father Day.
right.
Yeah. But wait,
Yeah, I
what?
mean,
Yeah,
huh?
come in.
No. I say, I was trying to fall short of speaking a lot about Father's Day today because I know a couple, couple said, but why we didn't go live on Mother's Day? I said, well, we're trying to give mothers,
I mean,
the
brother,
time. We're
I'm
trying to
gonna
give
say,
them time
I'm
to
gonna say,
rest.
I talk about the city too. Mother Day is just a special. The way that Mother Day brings, it's just
I mean,
different
for
from Father Day.
us, we really don't bother
Yeah,
about the day, but we rather
yeah,
focus on our
you know,
mothers.
yeah. We just want to give them that day to just relax. If you're in the hot that day, you cook. You know,
Yeah,
you cook, you prepare breakfast for them. You wake there or you shower there. That's what we just want to just do for that day. It was like we in the kitchen cooking for them.
right,
So
right.
maybe that day, but the Father Day, our normal things, it's a go on.
Our normal stuff still go on, but
You
I mean,
say,
speaking of Father's Day too,
yeah,
quickly, I was actually moved this early this morning. My little guys, sometime in the morning when they get up like that, they'll run downstairs and get on their devices and stuff. But bright and early this morning, they ran into the room. Happy Father's Day. Yeah, I was touched by it. As little as they are, they remember. They
yeah.
remember that they came in, and greeted and wish me happy Father's Day. I was really touched by that actually. Um, but
So
that also,
yeah,
you
while we are waiting for our guests, let's just talk about this a little bit. Make your input for this, from your perspective. The idea people is with the idea people they are listening to us. Maybe they can call in also to share their perspective. This could be Aliyah. This could be Aliyah convention.
yeah.
It will be very huge with it. What's the date for that convention again? With it?
It should be the 14th through the 16th. 14th through the 16th.
That's very huge.
Yeah,
And for the credible, reliable source, I just I don't just say reliable source. It's 100% true that the bishop of the EFCA is very huge, and his wife will be at this year Aliyah convention. It's very huge to see the city presiding bishop of the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America to come for Aliyah convention or immigrant grouping, in the ARC to come to that convention is very huge. So what what can Aliyah do, to make a convention a success and to grab the attention of the bishop about when it comes to the Lutheran Church in Liberia and some of the help that we need to run our institution. So what can
that
Aliyah
I told
do?
you, I wouldn't want to say what would um Aliyah do. I will also add that what would the Lutheran Church in Liberia? I know by extension we are a part of the Lutheran Church here in the diaspora, but what would the Lutheran Church in Liberia do to seize this opportunity? That I told you last year when Bishop Curry, I know Bishop Curry personally. He knows me. Uh, I Bishop Curry has visited Liberia. This is one person who aligns himself, across every border. So Bishop Curry has visited Liberia. He walked on the soil of Liberia. The last time when Bishop Patmo visited the U.S., um, he did not have the opportunity to meet Bishop Curry, in person. But this is an opportunity. Um, I don't know what the Bishop Patmo's schedule is going to be during that time. But it doesn't only mean that Bishop Patmo. It will be a plus if Bishop Patmo can be here, But I think that the bishop or the Lutheran Church in Liberia, she sees this as an opportunity to send a delegation here to meet with the bishop of the ELCA. Okay, and not only that, the bishop also the host bishop, Bishop Bill Gold. Bishop Bill Gold is no stranger to Aliyah. Bishop
Yeah.
Gold has been one of the key, fundraising champion of the Lutheran University. So this will be an opportunity also that the Lutheran University, if they can send a delegation as well, to really have a one-on-one conversation with Bishop Bill Gold. That I will say this quickly, that right after the first fundraiser in Baltimore, Maryland, I think you were there as well.
Yeah, were there.
It was 2 years ago. After the fundraiser, the plan was to only have a fundraiser, and that was it. There was no plan afterward. Okay, and praise be to God for Mother Maria Reese Carpet, who engineered this entire fundraising activity. But right after the fundraising activity, or even during the speech of Bishop Bill Gold, because Bishop Bill Gold was the speaker, and mind you, Bishop Bill Gold had a very important event on that day, including the fundraising event of Lutheran University. But Bishop Bill Gold decided to attend both. He went to the event, downtown Inner Harbor, Maryland, in Baltimore. Then he also attended the Aliyah fundraiser. And
let me ask you.
I see our guest. He will be coming in very shortly. So just
before our guest, let me ask you the question quick.
Yeah.
Do you know whether LCR sent a delegation or the Lutheran University sent a delegation to the party at the convention? Do you have any insider report that the bishop is coming for a delegation or somebody coming from Liberia?
I have an insider report, but I would encourage the church to send a delegation. That's what I would do. The report, it's a credible report, credible information, credible source, but let us hold it for now so that we don't be ahead of the gun. But I would encourage the Lutheran Church in Liberia to send a delegation. And to conclude on what I was saying, that Bishop Bill Gold asked the fundraising committee chairperson, Mother Maria Reese Carpet, that there should be a continuous event and that he was going to personally sponsor this event. And when he also attended Aliyah Assembly in Atlanta, Georgia, he personally asked for this assembly to be held in Baltimore, Maryland, because the assembly was going to Canada. He asked for it to be held in Baltimore, Maryland. So he is personally into this. And I will tell you, this one, I can tell you that I received a message directly from Bishop Gold that he's asking my full involvement, though I'm a member of Aliyah, but he's asking my full involvement from Atlanta to Baltimore, which of course I've committed myself to. And Bishop Gold, what he has, demonstrated, there's no reason why he make a request and I would decline it. So we are fully involved.
That's good. It's our guest. Is studio there?
Our dear brother is here.
Okay. Our guest is here. Leo. Incredible job, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I disagree with him. Somebody think he can say, but it's a very credible job, man, to be around us.
No, but Taraturo, before we can allow Leo to come in, right? Back in Liberia, I think there was a radio show. They said, or radio announcer, he would say, either I beg to differ, we disagree to agree. We can disagree with disagree on issues, but we are not enemies, But I have some people think that because you and I would disagree on issues, then have this animosity. No, we are all brothers. We can disagree. We cannot agree on everything.
Grab a copy of this one book, Foundation for Success. You get this or me.
I told you we got Leo now, so let's start
Yeah,
selling.
no, I'm telling you.
Yeah, the man you show you.
Sometimes, you know, I'm thinking, sometimes they call Tabata, I can go here, eat bars, and put it here, eat bars. But Leo, welcome. We happy
Yeah,
to have
no.
you. Show. We just want to play in your bar a little bit, and also happy Father's Day and congratulations on your academic achievement, Master of Divinity. We'll be jumping into that, you know, but or is your, you know, give her your opening statement, and then we'll try to question you around.
And Leo,
No,
before
thank
your
you.
opening statement, I want to also wish you happy Father's Day and congratulations, brother. Congratulations.
Yeah, no, thank you. Thank you, Willie, and thank you, Dr. Toto, as well. Good to see you. Good to see you all. It feels comfortable always to be in company here. And greetings to everybody watching and listening. You know, the Lutheran Church has given us the freedom to disagree but respect.
Yeah.
You know,
Exactly.
Dr. Toto and that big brother that the place we come from, even when we disagree, we still have to find a way to remain respectful in our disagreement. So, no, but absolutely not. Yeah, I'm always pleased to be here. When I got the message, I was like, anytime. And I look forward to the conversation. And thank you for the congratulatory message. And happy Father's Day also to all of you as well.
Thank
Thank
you.
you,
Thank you
William.
so much.
Remember, this is a show. We just want to just again, you know, this is what we do here. But Nutri Credential, we celebrate people achievement also too. Even though we discuss church politics, but also discuss academic achievement, progress, anything. And you want to know guy out there, we give it to you. You know, I don't know how many people know out there you are Lutheran.
Yeah.
Or you have to put in your forehead there to say I'm a Lutheran.
Yeah. Born
Yeah.
and bred.
Yeah,
That's
you know.
right.
So they will know that the literature produce the type of smart, incredible job there. Well, but you, Master of Divinity, huge. You know,
Yeah.
why? Why?
Yeah,
Why
you know,
why you took that journey?
a lot of people who don't know me, my other side of me, who just know me recently, are a bit surprised. But someone like Willie Kobo should not be surprised, to be
No.
honest with you, in many ways. Those who knew me from our days in Liberia with the church know how involved I was. There was nothing I wasn't involved with, whether it was the acolyte, the choir, the music department, I was everywhere. Because I often say this, I think people take I will speak in the context of the church, a global church, but the Lutheran church specifically. We take for granted, I think, the place that God has placed us. And I say this, my first ever attempt of learning how to write a report was in a Lutheran church. It was not in any university or in any school. My first ever attempt of understanding how to read a report and make sense of it was in a Lutheran church. My first ever attempt at public debate, right, or speaking and engagement was in the Lutheran church. This was not no academic school. You will remember those days, right? Whether it's from congregational meetings, and you know, when things come out there, we have to debate it and argue, or the budget comes out there, or council meetings, and you know, or special meetings, or National Lutheran Youth Fellowships, and you know, camps. I remember my last camp was in Harrisburg. When we went there, this was a place that we elevated our gifts and talents in different ways. It was not only just about Bible. It was about gifts of people who could speak, gifts about people who could quiz. My first ever quizzing experience was in the Lutheran Church on the National Lutheran Youth Camp. This was a place those who had a gift of networking could bring it, and those who have the gift of music and, you know, preaching. All of it came together, and none of it in the church seemed lesser than the others. It just meant we all had different functionalities, and some roles came with greater responsibilities, some roles came with less responsibilities, but whatever they were all valued within the church. So going to do divinity for me, it took me a long time. I had a lot of offers of scholarships to study, including law school when I left, because a lot of people for some reason thought I was supposed to be a lawyer also, all of it. And I finally settled on going to do divinity, primarily because, number one, I often see the church First of all, I tell everybody the church is a man-made institution, was not made by God. Let's be clear about that. Followers of Christ and the rest of it, including Martin Luther, all of them had to organize a way by which we could fellowship and engage with God. Because all of us left to our own vices, we know what we can do. So I went to seminary, or I went to divinity school because I realized that the church remains, if not the most powerful, one of the most powerful tools. I put it this way: the church is like a knife. That knife in the hand of a chef cooking in the kitchen, everybody's excited because good food is being made. That same knife in the hands of an armed robber, everybody run away. The knife didn't do nothing wrong. The knife is still the knife. So I see the church that way. In the hands of the wrong people, we cause so much harm and damage. In the hands of the right people, the kingdom of God is glorified and we see wonders.
Thank you. That very, very, you touch one thing, you talk about how we learn, for the Lutheran Church, especially for some of our first meeting, I will to take meeting minutes was about the various grouping, the youth who's out there, for the variety. So the church has equipped us to be the way we are, we give back. So before we come in, let me just ask you another question here. Now you have the divinity degree. What are you going to do? Are you want to be ordained to serve the Lutheran Church in Liberia or the Lutheran Church in Americas?
That's a great question. I don't think it really matters nowadays the way ordination works. Before, I know back in the day, it used to be such a big thing. I don't think it matters anymore because I've seen there are clear pathways. But you always have to say charity begins at home, right? You always have to start from where you've learned, right? There's something about connecting with that. So long story short, the process is that I've done my academic studies. I have to do something called the bishop's exam. And yes, to answer your question, Dr. Toto, I'm on the pathway to being a full ordained Lutheran minister in Evangelical Lutheran Church in Canada, which is the same body that the LCL is actually a part of. I'm on my way for ordination. I'm hoping in the next 2 to 3 months, the entire process will be consummated for full ordination as an ordained minister in the Lutheran Church and in a broader Lutheran communion worldwide. And my intention immediately, I've had a long interest in North America, especially the Lutheran churches, to do something called specialized ministry. Yeah, I'll be ordained to preach, do all the regular things that pastors do. But I'm very keen on becoming a congregational pastor, where you stay to one church. I think there are a bunch of things the broader church can benefit from. So I'm working on developing what we call special ministry in youth and young adult ministry using music. So we don't know what it will look like yet, but it could look like something where I'm supporting multiple churches to help develop their youth and young adult ministries, but also using music as a way of engaging youth and young adult. As you know, not the Lutheran Church alone, most of the churches here have struggled to engage youth and young adult. That's an area I've excelled. I do very well in that area. So in my opinion, God has already given me a ministry. It's just that ministry was not situated within ordained ministry in the church. It was situated in the broader community. So I have a keen interest into how I can bring that same ministry gifting as part of the church, especially given a North American church's struggle with youth and young adults engagement.
Yeah. But that's a very good point, especially the churches nowadays. I don't know about Canada, but especially in America, we are declining too much in terms of population. You see some of the churches closing, some of the churches are merging to join up bigger churches. You don't want to see young people into the ministry now. So they are taking people out of strategy to get young people get involved in especially youth and young adult ministry. But that's a good era. But wait, this is our mayor. Pretty soon will be quite pastor. Pretty soon will be quite pastor Leo Johnson.
There's one Liberian music that says everybody got their era, and I like the area that my brother has chosen in ministry, and he's actually right. If you look in the churches now in North America, unlike the churches in Africa, you find that most of the churches that you have less number of youth in these churches, and we need people that will relate with the young people. So I think that is a great area that our brother will be helping our church. The church in North America, and also I want to say the church also in Liberia as well. So again, I want to congratulate our brother on that. But that I told you before we go further, right? One pastor was on the show one time, Reverend Yakwazo. He said, "Don't give microphone to two people, a pastor and lawyer." So.
Let us fall. To be fair, the Lutheran pastors don't go for long. Wait till you go to the Baptist church. Wait till you go to the church.
Yeah.
Our Lutheran pastor sermons are usually 25 minutes. Our Lutheran pastor sermons are usually 25 minutes. Go to the Baptist church, my brother. I'm 1 hour later.
But you, apart from the sermon, if you bring Rabbi Mackey on the issue and read that, who they talking about?
Oh no, they talk. The lecture part, they can lecture. They can lecture.
Mackey can be on the issue.
That's what Rabbi Yakwazo was talking about. But back to the conversation, Brother Leo. I want to go to the Lutheran Church in Liberia, because that's where we come from. Okay, and before I ask my question, just before you came on the show today, I was telling Brother Tudo that at my congregation today, we had congregation meeting, and I was elected. Then one guy one of the members just came to me, so he tried to talk to me about it. In my mind, I said, so first of all, I said, listen, I said I've gone through this before. I've served in church leadership. It's part of me. We got a foundation from Liberia, so you will be fine. I'll work along with you. You will be okay. But did that I told ask the question about serving here and looking at serving here and serving back home, Liberia. Brother Johnson, if you recall the past elections, I think you follow it. Maybe not so deeply, but I know you follow it. Even do your business schedule. You saw that there was some huge sense of, like a better word, I would say resentment against those from the diaspora, and it's still, you can still see it. Okay, what message or what bridge you think that can be built between our pastors here and the pastors over there to have this, the harmonious working relationship that people won't, our pastors in Liberia won't feel that, okay, because they study in Liberia or because they reside in Liberia, they are less, important than those who study in the diaspora, or, saying that those on the ground and those in the air. I mean, what is your take on that?
I think there's a reason for that, and this is my opinion. Right? Obviously, we all may have different opinions. Other people may have different opinions. By and large, the same thing happens in Liberia to a larger extent. Let me put it that way. We see it even in our Liberian political landscape as well. When people come from the diaspora, there's often this animosity that you notice between people and we saw in the Lutheran Church. I follow the elections very closely, by the way. But I often say, to him or her whom much has been given, much is required. I don't think we from the diaspora have done ourselves justice. And I'll tell you what I mean by that. And I'm speaking from the pastoral landscape here. I'm not saying that there haven't been other Lutherans who have done exceptional work back home, whether with their local parish or with the broader church. From the pastoral perspective, I would say this: leadership is not when you are in a certain position or holding a certain title. And as far back as I can recall, I can think of our Lutheran leaders and pastors in the diaspora demonstrated leadership within the local context, right? I'm not saying they're not well-intentioned or they don't engage. I'm talking about intentionality, Willie. I haven't seen it. So here's how it comes across. I would tell you, if I were looking at it from the context of people in Liberia. Whenever one of our leaders from the diaspora go back wanting to be bishop or whatever, even the well-meaning ones, even the ones we think deserve it or qualify, competent, there is a sentiment, and that sentiment is well founded, that the effort is doubling now because you want to hold this title. But if you were intentional, right, of having ambitions for this title, what happened then of working your way towards it, right? Run on the record. Don't run on the promises of what you can do with LCL. And I'll be honest with you, till now, I haven't seen a lot of candidates from the diaspora that have been running on their last 10 years or 20 years of record. I've been seeing a lot of people with good ideas and good places that they want to take the church. But we're in a very skeptical, polarized society where people have heard it all. There's nothing you're saying to people that they haven't heard before from other candidates. And unfortunately, the track record is not great either. So I think we need to flip this switch around, because they said there's a very fine line between competence and arrogance. For those of our brothers and sisters or leaders or pastors in the diaspora who want to play a key role, right, especially the holding positions like the bishop or whatever in the Lutheran church, I encourage you, do that work now. Cultivate that work now. Find a record that you can run on. If you can't find a record that you can run on, your case is harder. I'm not justifying that people in Liberia should have that kind of sentiment. But unless you are in their situation and context, it's very hard to see why would somebody want to be bishop, and it was not a decision made over 6 years, over 5 years to work their way towards it, but it had to be a decision made around election time. That's very hard for anybody to actually swallow.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that. We had the Reverend Sakia Davis. Sakia Davis also.
Yeah, Sakia
Davis. You remember him from St. Matthews. He put forth such an argument as well, saying that if you want to lead, it shouldn't be like I'm just kind of paraphrasing. It shouldn't be overnight. You should show that record. You should show that connection. I'm just gonna speak on someone, maybe Reverend Alexander Smith, saying, okay, Reverend Alexander Smith, because he has a doctoral degree, so now he can become bishop in Liberia. But they want to see that relationship, with the church back home. We want to see that relationship with your colleagues, like the pastoral fellowship or so, And when I talk about the bridge, I think those are some of the areas that you mentioned also. Show that connection, show that relationship with your colleagues over time. It shouldn't be like maybe next year's election now, then you want to, say that you're going to give them Kenny or going to give them low, feed them with bread so that tomorrow they can
or promises
position
or promises of what you can do. Because here is my thing, if you can cook. If you can cook. If we all were somewhere, 3 of us, you, Dr. Toto and myself, and we were very hungry, and we had 1 cup of rice, salt, and pepper. That's all we had. And where there's a good cook, where they can cook, and we're hungry. Everybody dying from hunger. Well, I said, gentlemen, we ain't got enough, but let me do something with 1 cup of rice, salt, and pepper, so that we can eat something. Well, I will not be intimidated to cook without 1 cup of rice, salt, and pepper. But imagine we're dying from hunger. We're saying you can cook, but we're saying, me, I can cook until they get black pepper, until they got seasoning, until they got olive oil, until they got. Well, I can cook. We're dying from hunger. Well, the only way you can cook until every single one of these ingredients is present, but he can't cook.
Because I'm a chef.
Yeah, because he's a chef. So when you not bring all that in there, you will die from hunger. You will not put it food here today for her to eat. It's the same thing that I see it as. If you can lead, if you are a leader, if you're a pastor, especially wanting with ambitions to want to be bishop, which is not a bad thing. Do the small one you can do now. We know when you're bishop, you got a much bigger authority and whatever. But in your lay role, instead of doing a pastoral program for 5 parishes, maybe you can do it for 1. To give an example of what you're capable of doing if you have the same level of influence and authority through the church. But to wait and say you would turn that switch when you become bishop, it's a very hard argument to make.
That's true. And Brother Johnson, I want to ask this question. In your premise, you gave a very, very good analogy about the knife. The knife being in the right hand or the wrong hand, right? And as you see our church now, or comparing our church from back then, since you knew the church, since you and I knew the church, because we started knowing the church together. Okay, so since we knew the church until now, you think that the knife has been? You think the knife has been in the right hands, or is the knife in the right hand, and or what can the church do for the knife to be in the right hand if it is not in the right hand, or if it had not been in the right hand?
Yeah. The situation with the Lutheran Church, like many things that I do, is a bit tricky. You know, well, how when you having your big ceremonies and big days or having special occasion, or let's say, let me use tragedy since the war was a tragedy. Let's say somebody passed away, and, very important to the family. So everybody comes around to help. Everybody put money to help, because at difficult times. And they hire a chef, right? That chef is cooking and feeding everybody. So your household is good because food keep coming from the kitchen. And that chef is like, Willie, we know you're in a very difficult time, so we'll be here. You don't even need to pay me. And, I will produce all the food. Just don't worry for food. Leave the food to me. And the chef said, I'm not here for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. I will be here until you get back to a place, and where you actually normal. So during all the war, that was the situation. Our international churches and international partners poured in. And our churches were well supported. Let's be honest. During all this, the churches were way more supported even than it is now by our international partners. The mistake that was made is our international partners were feeling too sorry for us, and they didn't call one to say, well, I'm in the kitchen, so you can see how I'm using the knife, so that they are not here, and because one day I'll have to go. So we got very comfortable. And the time came without a proper transition. Imagine one day the chef just tell you, say, oh, well, it's been great here, but I just got a new job now, I have to go back, so I'll be moving tomorrow. And so the chef left. Now when they started to see the food coming from the kitchen, it's not looking correct because nobody there was with the chef to watch and to study under the chef to learn. That was the situation we had. We rely on the international partners for so long, and rightfully so because of the situation we were in. But when the international partners were there all those years, we did not own. We didn't own, and the different types of configurations and stuff that was going on. We didn't figure out how they were raising all those revenues that they were pumping into the church. We didn't figure out how to have replaced that to do it ourselves. So by the time the international partners started to pull out, the pain started to happen. And now we are in a situation, not because the leaders that are there may not be great or well-meaning, but let's call a spade a spade. They don't know how. They don't know how. It's not even a criticism. It's just my honest assessment. Because some of these leaders are well-meaning. They want to do good for the church. But for example, how are you going to do good for the church when you don't even know how to generate revenue to fundraise? If you still depending on offering in 2026, you're in big trouble. If that offering you still depending on offering and tithes, you're in big trouble because your offering and tithes is not even enough for the operational expenses of the church annually, right? How can we now think about, okay, bringing in people who have the ability? That's why I'm happy. One of the reasons I went into theology and divinity, this was it. Because there is this thing that we take away from expertise beyond, going to divinity is an expertise by itself to be a pastor. But some of us who bring a variety of other expertise, fundraising, administration, leading things, because the church can no longer live in isolation. We have to figure out how we intersect with the broader world to mobilize resources, not just from within holy circles, right? Because if all resources belong to God, how do we mobilize it for the right reason and direct it to the right place? So I would say to you, I don't think it's about the knife being in the wrong or right hands, right? It's about the knife being available to all well-meaning people, except that nobody took the time to understand how to wield that knife to make the magic. So we need to go to that drawing board. We need to build the infrastructure that is required to understand the functioning of the knife to get the church to where it is. That means the church has to build a robust, right? A robust infrastructure for our schools. Let me give you an example. The Lutheran Church has a robust history of excellence in education in Liberia. Here we are today. We are crawling like to say we knew nothing about this. And it's not a lack of excellence and a lack of great people that can help. It's the fact that the church have become overly focused on the theological, spiritual side, which is not a bad thing, but has poured all the energy into that even people who are in the church with great expertise can feel useless because they are not pastors or they are not, they're not in the spiritual side of the business. So they want to go to church every Sunday, take their communion. How can one of the best brain surgeons in Liberia be a Lutheran? And then we can operate a simple nursing school.
Okay, Leo. I wouldn't say.
Can I just follow up on something real quick, please?
So without the preacher man, the lawyer talked too much.
Sorry.
I will keep it short next time.
You want shadow you think I will share for us.
I just want to follow up on something quick. I don't want to lose my thought on it. And I know my brother will take less minute.
I will try. I will be short.
Okay. So, but Leo, you talked about the missionaries, right? On one of our shows, we had two views. Some people are trying to blame the missionaries for not teaching us how to fish. Okay. And some people are blaming ourselves for not learning what the missionaries were doing. What is your thought on that?
That argument for me is a waste of time. And I'll tell you why it's a waste of time. It's easier to look at these things in hindsight. You know, people like to look at the past. You know, when you explain the past, you can explain it so nice. But when you were there in the present, it's not as easy as it looks. So to try and adjudicate the past would be the wrong path to go on. Because some of the people we are talking to now, some of them were not even in those privileged positions, even if they wanted to learn to have learned. Let's be honest, some of that generation is gone. Some of them are gone. Some of them, so the people who are in leadership now were nowhere close to leadership. Let's be frank. So yes, let's learn from that past and say we did not learn. Whatever the reasons were, whether it was the missionary fault or it was our fault, even if we find out whose fault it was, what does it serve us right now? Yeah. It doesn't serve us well. So my opinion will be we all can agree that we did not do the transitioning that we were supposed to do, or even learn how we were supposed to move forward. We never paid attention to it. Whether we keep doing quick impact, where is the Lutheran Church 25-year strategic plan about what's supposed to happen with the Lutheran Church in the next 25 years? Why are we still going offering to offering every year? Or every 2 years, or every 3 years? We're supposed to have a roadmap because we're not a political institution. So we're supposed to come together as a church, create a roadmap, and consistently go around the world now to mobilize the resources around that roadmap that can say within 25 years, we want the Lutheran Church to be self-sustaining by itself. Here is the roadmap we have laid out for ourselves, that we will have no reliance on international aid after 25 years. And here's the way we will get there step by step. Okay. But I promise to keep it short. So
yeah, he kept it short.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, I enjoyed the conversation. To be fair, to our viewer out there, we are speaking with our own brother, Leo Johnson, or his recent academic achievement, Master Divinity. We try to pick him out or his brain. And Leo, before we recognize our viewer out there and read some of the comments, let me just ask you this on this question. Are you going to come to the ADIA convention this year?
There's been a lot of people on the he asked me on the spot question. Give it to me. I was at ADIA convention last year.
I said I've come this year.
So, you were at ADIA convention last year.
I said this year.
He said this year.
You still thinking it might be the film?
No, but let me put it this way, Tyler, to answer your question. I will do my very best. I will endeavor to be at the conference.
The reason why I try to ask you the question, for your entrepreneurship experience in fundraiser, apart from your ministerial level, all the social economic aspect, development library also too, the learning center. This year, ADIA convention will be huge. The presiding bishop of the ELCA and his wife will be at this year convention. And he's not just coming alone. If the president coming around with the bishop, all the cabinet ministers or bishops that around now, they all want to come there too. So it will be a huge gathering for ADIA. So before you came on the show, whatever I said was just have the discussion on there. What can ADIA do on the LCL not to miss this opportunity? It's not like going to be begging, say, oh, begging, we need one. But what can ADIA, the LCL, do not to miss this opportunity? Because it may not come again.
Yeah. I will put up my fundraising and development hat here and say the number one reason why people don't give is because they don't get asked properly. And the number one reason is not because of the lack of money. Even William said if I wanted Willie to give to something I'm doing, I have to figure out the best way to cultivate Willie I can't just say because Willie and my friend Willie know all the way I'm doing. It's amazing. I can't explain all the great story. Then Willie will just get on. You know how many amazing things Willie know about, and you know that going on everywhere. And I think my own are the only one. And why did I say that? Let me say, George, I'm afraid that if we're not careful, that may be another opportunity we'll look back on and wish we had done something better. Because you can correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not on the inside working of Aliyah, so I may be wrong. But here is it: I'm yet to see a proper case for support for Aliyah. What is Aliyah's case for support? I'm not talking about the projects that we talk about here. That's not a case for support, right? If you're bringing somebody like the bishop, right, of ELCA to your convention, right, it means, let me put it this way, what's the ROI for which you're bringing the bishop, right? I can tell you this. And what that case for support has to look like, it has to look like something that's well thought out, something that has a return on investment when people give to it. What do they expect to get back? It also have to have some measurable outcomes of how it will impact the ecosystem that you're trying to affect. It's supposed to have a targeted population. I haven't seen Aliyah's case for support. So you can bring the bishop. Let me tell you how happy. The bishop can come with all the big shots. You know what they might do? They might like what Aliyah is doing. They might give you a 25,000 a year, or they might give you, they might just help in general. Because the only way somebody can give you a targeted support or commitment is when you have a case for support. We don't have it. And here's a mistake that we make at this convention, Josh Toto. We go to these conventions every year. We put so much priority in showcasing the other people there, and we do not showcase the level of expertise and ability within Aliyah to deliver. So even people who want to give money to Aliyah, they are worried. How do they even know that Aliyah has the competent people to even deliver? Right? When we bring guests, it's supposed to be an opportunity to sell them our case for support. It's not supposed to be just an opportunity for them to lecture us about all the PPT out there and who they are. This is our convention, right? That's what it's supposed to be. And that whole convention is supposed to be built around hammering that case for support from multiple angles, right? Whether from the angle of the pastoral side, the spiritual side, whether from the angle of the development side of things, the social economic side of it, even the political side of it. We're supposed to be wrapping up that case for support, that there is no way that bishop will walk away. We don't want $25,000 commitment. We want a 5-year partnership throughout this so that we can measure the type of support we can mobilize from ELCA through the bishop's leadership. That is a much bigger system level thinking than an immediate, you go to that thing, you tell the bishop, say, we're raising money for $50,000 to support the LUL, the Lutheran Universe. Great. The bishop said, okay, we'll give you $25,000, right? Compared to telling the bishop, we, over the next 5 years, Aliyah has decided that they want to transform the LTR campus, right, into the first energy net zero post-secondary educational institution in the Republic of Liberia. Because this will take off many things. Environmentally friendly. Everybody looking for it in the world right now. Reduction of carbon footprint. Using locally built materials to use local craftsmanship and artisanship. And then telling the bishop, we're giving you an opportunity, bishop, for ELCA to be part of history making to help build the first energy net zero university campus using the LUL. And Mr. Bishop, we are currently in the process of finalizing the costing, which will be coming to your plate. We are looking for an innate partnership as to how ELCA can help us. That's a much robust case for support than saying we're raising 50,000 this year to get LUL professors paid or to fix the student dormitory so the student can sleep there. That's a zero-sum game. There's no return on investment on that. We'll fix the student dormitory this year. 2 years later, again, the dormitory will start leaking again. There's really no return on investment. You are asking me to just dump money into an endless hole that does not return anything back to me.
Yeah, taking you for that.
Can I just make a point on that quickly, please? For the Leo, we're talking about LC or not ELCA. You thinking about the Kenyans too much.
Anyway, no, I was talking about the Evangelical Lutheran Church in America. That's what I said. Okay.
Yeah. All right, but this is the point that Leo raised, right? And as Leo was talking about this, right? I kept thinking about the opportunities that we continue to miss. Quickly that I told you, in Ohio, Columbus, Ohio, at this assembly, we have 5, not 1, but 5 ELCA bishops in attendance. Where's the relationship now? Or the partnership? That's one. Two, the programs that that Brother Leo talked about, the ELCA greatly involved when it comes to climate. I sent an invitation. I sent an invitation to Aliyah's group chat. Some people attended, but what plan did Aliyah, even the project management team or so, put together a plan? Because guess what? This is something. Okay, those congregations and organizations are giving 10,000 for the next 3 years. Every year, 10,000. But with what Leo had just mentioned, okay, in your proposal for partnership, you can even you can see more funding than the 10,000 every year.
That's way more. Way more.
More than that. Right. Besides that, also on the issue of hunger, the ELCA is big when it comes to hunger. Okay, every time the ELCA is funding let's organizations finding areas wherein they can support when it comes to hunger. There's a group in the ELCA called Amparo. That's mainly the Latino, mainly Latino based, community. They are hugely involved with migration. The ELCA is supporting the migration and hunger. All those programs that the ELCA has, what are some of the projects we are writing towards partnership? But again, everything Leo was saying, I was just in agreement with him, because we're going to Baltimore. We're going to ask for, we have LUL does not even have a strategic plan document. We're looking for money to build one campus, okay? And Brother Johnson, and I'm glad that Dr. Todo is here. If you can recall, in 2018, when Aliyah went to Canada and talked about this same university, I asked him a question: what do you want to start the university? What's your thought on starting a university? He said 25,000. 25,000 to start university? The Canadians said, go and think about it and come back.
Basically.
So, a lot of opportunities. And I want to add that the bishop of the ELCA, I can be quick. The bishop of the ELCA is not the only big fish that will be attending that. There are plans, and very soon that we will get a confirmation. A councilman, the council executive of the Baltimore City councilman should be attending that assembly as well. That's another big opportunity. Bernard Scott should be attending that assembly, but it's not confirmed yet. But the confirmation should be coming up pretty shortly. Okay, so we have a lot of opportunities, but the night again, are we using the night for the right purpose?
Yeah, a lot of opportunity. We're going over that hour now. We're trying to recognize our guests with it. They will be coming down to draw the curtain.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Quickly. The Reverend Smokey Kokolo, thank you so much. Happy Father's Day to you, our dear sister Marlon Moba Kekula. I'm glad you are watching, because she's the secretary, and you take that of this information to the executive room. Our sister Raya Nipik Jawi, we want to say thank you so much. Happy Father's Day. Brother Sonny George says Aliyah should not be asking for help. Aliyah should be making a business proposal with a clear intention to invest. There you go. You know what? Anyway, and Bishop Corey is one big person when it comes to return on investment. You will listen to his speech. He will mention that even his victory speech at the ELCA convention, he mentioned his the opportunity for return on investment.
So just go back to Sonny George, Sabas and Beggy. So get cash out there.
Okay, but Sonny George, yeah.
He said
fundraising is getting
That's true.
More. What else? What else can Aliyah do? Aside begging people every convention. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
It's getting boring.
Absolutely. Yeah. And we want to recognize also Brother Gabriel Wood from Nima County. Our sister Joyce Halawanga. Joyce Halawanga is there from Maryland. And there are two people. If there's no one watching this show, there are two people. We'll make sure we have our father, Sonkole, and also the
Yeah.
Reverend Dr. Towa Thomas Jala. We want to say thank you again. Thank you for following, Rory. Yeah, we can wrap up, Dr. Todo, so that our
Yeah, thank
brother
you for
can.
the thank you for the comment. Thank our guest Dio for coming on the show. You know, making your achievement matter to the nutrition Liberia. You know, why we try to wonder, let me just ask you this question. Uh, in terms of motivation, I know to go to school, whether in Canada, America, it's a difficult challenges, especially if we have family, you know. So we all went through, I would say I went through it from bachelor to master and then to PhD level. I know the challenges that we face. People may not understand how it works, but when they see when that graduation grad coming out, they all celebrate with you. You know. So if you sit and look back, you if you try to retrospect, you look back, what are some of the challenges you overcome that you can be able to help to motivate other young Liberians, not just local, that want to pursue higher education here in the US or Canada?
Like you said, rightly, Josh, the first thing I would say, the discipline. Um, Discipline, I know people overlook it, but it's not easy here, especially the way school is structured, because our lives is not the type of life where you grew up, you graduated high school, you went to university, you in your parents' basement, you can go to school and come back. So the discipline to do multiple things, right? The discipline to have family and still remain truthful in the ways that you can, and to work out with, for those of you who have partners, one of wives or whatever other partners you have, to work it out with them in a way that allows you to still do what you can do. That's one. The discipline for, I often say the difference between people who succeed and don't succeed in university is preparation. It's always preparation. The discipline to really sit down and prepare yourself for what you're going to, because university is not about memorizing and passing. It's actually about learning and demonstrating competence in the subject area. But I'll say the greatest one of all is the avoidance of distraction, um, especially in our Liberian context. The moment you decide, going to school and earning a degree, well, it's one of the things you do for yourself. You do many other things for everybody. The funny thing is, nobody can take that total degree from your brain. You can do all you want to do, unless Dr. Toto chooses to use it the way he wants to use it for your benefit. It's actually for him. The discipline, the moment you start to go to school, I can tell you, that's when you will get all the distraction. The call that they get a job for you in Liberia, they want to appoint you, it will come. The other thing that's supposed to be so enticing that will make you leave it. Eventually, if you're not careful, you might get distracted, because going to school is a long process. It's not like a quick thing you can just go and do, and it's not a comfortable process. So, for example, my program was 3 years long, full time, right? At some point, other things can be so enticing, and people start to give you talk like, "Oh man, now the same money you're looking for, somebody calling you right now to get you a job for 10 grand. Why you can't just go get it? Any school you go now, the same degree you won't get to get money." But no, that is different, and your ability to leverage the networks that you come across, because those of us who live the way we live sometimes can get so busy. We want to go to school, do our school, come out, go to school. We don't get involved in anything. We don't leverage the networks that we have on campus or so. I think those would be some of the key ones that I would list, that I would just caution people to be careful about, because the moment you start to do it, it can put strain on your family. It can put strains on your relationships. It can put all kinds of strain. Being graceful, and to continue to accept and tolerate the frustration of your family, or those are your loved ones, or those that are around you. Because sometimes when you don't do it, you too can get frustrated too and react in a different way. When truth be told, that burden is not easy to carry, not just for you alone.
Uh, and you said a very key word, discipline. And I see a lot of our people from Liberia, they are coming here on government scholarship to see higher education. Uh, Most of them they could not make it. It's not because they come from bad system, even though the system also help too, but I got discipline. You can't just be everywhere if you have a focus. And that's another set of discipline also to, and another thing also to, my experience also to be who you are. And not just about the money, but what, like you said, if it's in your brain, it's in your brain for you. And doors can be open at any time. But our society have built a way that, oh, you say get a degree that all make the same money.
Mm.
Yeah? So
Or
when
I'm
it-
making, or I'm making more, I'm making more money than you.
so even if you read the Bulgaria, right? One of my experience in the Bulgaria, you are working with Bank of America. And then when they have that financial meltdown in 2008,
Yep.
where all mortgages were losing their value, the bank was losing money, bank was closing department, laying people off. They also do. I was in the mortgage and home loan department. My department got affected. I have my MBA. I just get my MBA at that time. I did a job. Everywhere in the financial setting was so tight. So 4% working in a group home with people in the eligibility. What about, oh, but you get a master's degree, you can't work you want to, but I get a degree. You know, so this is all the way. So my level of education, I just worked there, poop, I will up in the management level. See, that's what education does. So our people have to be disciplined, more focused, and be inspiring. Like you said, you know, thank you for coming on the show to share your knowledge with us. We hope and pray that that's the show in the park or the college of theology and the Lutheran council with you. GST with you. There are so many areas, you know, that give you help to help perform that sector in my bureau. So, what did you have to say? People ask whether to give process statement as it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And I was just about to say that though our brother is not yet ordained, but we'll still give him the opportunity to give us the benediction because it's customary that it's customary we give our religious our religious leaders the opportunity to give us the benediction. So, brother, I know you've been practicing a lot while in seminary, so you can continue with us.
Yeah, time for that. Time for that.
We will give you the traditional Lutheran benediction.
Thank you.
So,
You know,
so with that, can you close this in there?
I'm doing my closing. I'm doing my closing statement. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know Elijah where he is watching. Couple is watching also. But again, this is St. Matthews. Okay. When I see my brother Leo, I think about this as St. Matthews. Brother Prince was. We're going to choir practice, going to a Bible study, and even our brother. What's the name? Brother Cooper, George Cooper from Mother Reed's son. Son.
George Cooper Reese. He's in the UK right now.
Yeah. George Cooper Reese. Yeah. In the Netherlands. One time I stopped in the Netherlands. I was at the airport and I called him. He said, "My man, come out of the terminal." Yeah. So I just when I see Leo, I see like all of our people, from our days back in the church at St. Matthew's. Just remind me of how far we've come and where we are today in at the church level. We got all of our foundation from our church back home. So serving congregations anywhere we go, being part of the church, the larger church anywhere we go, it's not something that was just acquired overnight. This is something that been a part of us, from I would say from birth, because we were born in the Lutheran church, especially for some of us. But again, I just want to thank you, my dear brother, and I want to say congratulations again. And I'm hoping that the LCL will take advantage of this opportunity. We had an opportunity in Ohio, and all the bishop talked about there was this massive plan to build supermarket and build everything and show this beautiful street. So hopefully we can learn from that, and this time around we can put up something serious on the table. But again, I want to thank you so much, my dear brother, and happy Father's Day. My regards to your family.
Thank you.
Thank you with it. And let me join with it also to say thank you for the viewership out there for coming on the show to bring up. I see the very Zesta, young man, so just be able to join us. We want to say happy Father Day, very. This network is a signature network, so you are going to call in to participate. But next week will be on the show, it will be back, and we hope to get the young people on the show, the youth or the proposed young adult department. Want to know more about the proposed salary that come to church, so they can come and tell us a little bit about it. To all of you watching out there. So Leo, again, we are proud of you, your academic achievement. For me, the Kwame Pong Warrior. I hope the master or the value will not be the end. It will be the doctor or the PhD level. I want to see you coming. I think a big can push it, and I hope to see you coming pretty soon. And to our viewer out there, to my latest book, it's a trade on Amazon, Call to Govern, The Conflict of African Leadership, very important. It's a research book that draws my personal experience in corporate America from a leadership perspective, and how I draw it, about the African side. Why African leadership? Why you think sometimes politicians come and speak, they will say everything you want to hear, but when they get elected, why they can't fulfill their promises? Doesn't that bother you? To think why? Try to read the book, you get some of the solution. So Leo, want to give it out to you. You can give it a closing statement, you can give a benediction, take off home.
No, thank you. I would just remind everybody going to Aliyah convention that for people to get to those conventions, it costs them thousands of dollars. So whenever you do fundraisers at the convention, it's really in poor taste, in my opinion. After spending $2,000-$3,000 to get to those conventions, depending on how far they're coming from, lodging and accommodation and all of the pieces that come around, then you turn around, you double down to fundraise at the convention. We need to rethink that strategy. But thank you, everybody. I guess still promising, the Lutheran Church in Liberia is our church. Regardless what may, I will serve the Lutheran Church. What capacity and how, I don't know. But serving the Lutheran Church has never been an option if or whether you will do. I think it is a requirement. It is a responsibility. So we're here. We'll keep working our way through it. That's all I can say. But like I said, I'll give you the typical Lutheran benediction. May the Lord bless us and keep us. May the Lord make his face shine upon us and be gracious unto us. May the Lord lift up his countenance upon us and give us peace. Go in peace and serve the Lord. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother.